Hello! So the wood thing with the leather you can have in your pocket or around a necklace, and you can use it for keeping your knife honed. It's called a strop, and things like this have been used for centuries to keep blades, knives, axes sharp. Much bigger versions of these, often something like this where you sharpen like this, but this is what I include in all the rivet lock pikal and rivet lock pulkko deliveries and orders. So all it does is just cleans up your edge so that you can use it, and brings it back to life after you've been using the blade a lot, and that just allows you to go longer times without having to sharpen your knife. The other way to attach the knife to the belt, for example, here is just by simply having a string attached to the end of the sheath like this, and you have maybe 2 fingers over. That's minimum. I would say don't go any lower than that, and 3 could be your maximum, because what you're doing with that particular length of knot is when you tie it around your belt loop. Now it's better around your belt loop because your belt, when you loosen it, it can have an effect on, and also you can't take your belt off so easily if you want to. If the blade is attached to your belt, it's generally easier and better if it's attached to the belt loop. But then the benefit of having it attached to your belt is that you can actually loosen it while it's attached and slide it. So here we go. You can just, and I recommend that you have the knot at the end here, and then you attach it in such a way where it's not actually permanently tied to the sheath. You just have a loop all the way through, and then you put the knotted end through like that. So that's very easy to actually take it off if you want to, and have it hanging around your neck with a longer string like this, and so it makes it easier for you if you need to quickly do something or change to a different setup, because having it around your neck, for example, is a great way to avoid you don't need pockets, you don't need to have a belt on, you can just have it around your neck wherever you go. And if you keep it a certain length down below a certain part of your chest, when it's underneath your shirt, it doesn't show. You see, it's very streamlined. And it's very easy to pull it out. So you just put it around the belt loop, and the reason it's important to have quite a long string here is so that you actually can do it like this without having to take the knife out of the sheath. If your string is too short, in order to attach it to your belt loop or your belt, you would have to take the blade out. Then it's too short. So that's when you know that the string is too short. And when you hang it inside your pants, inside your waistline, the length of the rope, including the knot, is what holds the blade upright to however sort of height you wish to have above your streamline, and it just stays there. It just stays there, whether you bend over or whatever. So that's a really great way to carry this. If I do the knot even tighter around that belt loop, because that's quite a very large belt loop we have there, you can see immediately that it does go further down. So it's a very stealthy way of carrying it, because even with a t-shirt on, you can't see that I have a knife anywhere. So even in the pockets, no belt clips, nothing. You can't really see that, and even when you're sitting, it really doesn't look like much. You actually have to kind of pull back your skin and your belly and your shirt. So this is a very good way to carry these knives. And having the shape as it is with sort of a bent pommel hangs on quite nicely there. So that's 2 ways to carry the same knife, depending on what you're doing. This is much more stealthy for the city environment, urban environment, and this is great for camping and all sorts, and you know, the best of both worlds. You know, it's just to have both, I guess. But again, this is going back to the strop. This is just for honing your blades. It'll keep them sharp. It has a paste on it which is white compound for buffing, and that's excellent for edges, especially these carbon steels, this is a spring steel. Yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope that was helpful. With this, and with sharpening a pical in general, it's highly advised, or the best way to sharpen them is to sort of always draw away from yourself like this along the edge. Apply a little bit of force, but never, like when you reach the end of the blade stroke, you really don't want to go beyond that point here. You see that? You just want to sharpen right up until right behind the tip. Basically, you're almost never really sharpening the point. You're always sharpening the space behind it. That's really what you're doing. You see, like this. Because the second, or as soon as you start to draw it over a surface like this, you will be removing the material at the very tip, and it'll be very difficult to keep it sharp. You can also do this right at the end to get that point good. That is a sharpenable surface. It's a bit difficult to sharpen with high grit stones. You do need a low grit stones to get that tip there, but it's not too much work to do it anyway on like high polished stones. It really depends on your sharpening, how you like to sharpen knives. But you see, I'm not going beyond the point whatsoever. And this is to keep the tip, the point, as pointy as possible at all times, and without shortening the blade. As soon as you start to drag that tip over the material, you're going to start shortening your blade. So finish it off from the tip rather than doing a draw over like this. You don't want to do this. You want to do this. Cool. I hope that was clear. Thank you.